Welcome to Around the Weird. Here's your host, the museum curator of the strange and unusual, Mr. Nothing.
Thank you, mysterious voice, and welcome back to Around the Weird, a booktube channel where I talk about all the unusual and out of the ordinary literature that I have found in my travels. Today, I want to talk about some poetry because it is Poetry Thursday, but it's also that period of pride between, the end of May and through July, where we talk about LGBTQA poets. And I have a quality poem from an LGBTQA poet today. And today's poem, possibly because we're in such close proximity to July 4th at the time that I'm making this video, it is a poem that is about being an American, maybe feeling pride in being an American or not feeling pride. I am referring to Mercy by Luther Hughes. For those who don't know, Luther Hughes is a Black American writer who has gotten most of his work published pretty recently. I think he's published a few books, but mostly gotten his poetry published in journals and magazines. He is the founder of poetry collectives as well as a recipient of a number of awards. I don't know too much else about Luther, but I do know that his poetry has fascinated me, and it's why I'm here today to talk about his poems. So without further ado, let's talk about Mercy. I will read it, do a little bit of analysis, and we'll move on from there. Mercy. Peeking through the clouds, Mount Rainier, with its white tank top, several cities to glare upon, and a moral blue sky to angle into, must love by now to be American. When asked this by the woman in front of us on the night President Obama was elected, my mother and I in Walmart, isn't it a great night to be American? The cashier just nodded, but my mother yelled, yes, it really is, thank God. And yes, it was a great night to be American, there between the bags of Lay's and plague of batteries, to be black in America, thank God. But oh, mountainous beast, who am I to think now, years later, walking home from the bus stop, surrounded by midwinter eaten trees and new rise condos, that my love wasn't shot by cops at work today, mistaken as someone else? Is there a song for this strain of mercy? At home, the light flickers above us as we sip wine, letting the TV wash our bodies into quiet laughter. I know we should spend this time spitting on the name of America, how we usually do when another black person has been killed, or when another country perfumes with our war. But there's beauty unaccounted for tonight. There are crows out back tired from the work of flight and pilgrimage, ashing the branches one by one. There is the crock pot of red beans in the kitchen, its chestnut chest bubbling with bay leaves and sausage. I fear I have made a mess of being an American. Love, I'm dumb with the fear of never doing enough. Is there anything else you want to say about what happened today? I ask him as he takes a spoonful of home into his mouth. The laugh track on TV peppers the room, and he shakes his head. What did I expect him, black like me, American like me, in love like me, to say after dusting the day along to get inside this four-walled pasture amid the morning of dirty laundry, the painting of a cracked moon guarding the wooden black dresser? Do you like the food? He asked. Yes, I do, I say, and I kiss him on the cheek. Thank you. In terms of analysis, that was Mercy by Luther Hughes. In terms of, narrative about the poem, I think it's pretty easy to see what the narrator is talking about in this poem. Talking about what it is like to be American, and coming home from work, and a little bit worried about, possibly being gunned down by the police because of similar police shootings that have been happening in this country in the past, as well as in the current moment. Also being thankful that their lover wasn't, or their husband, their love wasn't shot as well. And knowing that they should be spitting on America, they should be hating it, but right now they can't really feel that way because they're happy to have food, they're happy to have company, they're just happy that they're not having to deal with the fear that maybe other people are having to deal with as much. And so they, in the end, they just eat the food, kiss their lover on the cheek, and they say thank you. And so it seems like this poem is really about being black in America, the aspect of being an American and whether or not you should feel pride about that. Because some people can't feel that pride because they have to worry about whether or not they they have to worry about whether or not they're going to be killed or something like that. Specifically, they say that my love wasn't shot by cops at work today, mistaken as someone else. Is there a song for this strain of mercy? They say, I know we should spend this time spitting on the name of America, how we usually do when another black person has been killed, or when another country perfumes with our war. I do like how that's phrased, perfumes with our war, like the bombs and gunfire going off in another country that is due to us. Like it's like a perfume, like it just perforates the air, and you can't really escape it. It's a good kind of analogy there. But it's kind of hard to be thankful to be an American because you have all of that going on. It isn't easy being black in America. It probably isn't easy being gay in America for Luther Hughes. But there are people who kind of say, oh, you should be happy that you're American and whatnot. Especially like at the beginning of the poem where they note they're in a Walmart and someone says, isn't it a great night to be American? After President Obama was elected, a lot of people were like, yeah, it should be a great time because racism is over. But clearly, because President Obama didn't do the work that maybe he wanted to do, because police violence was unaddressed in America for so long, because of all of that, it's still tough for black Americans to feel American, to feel like they have a connection to a country that so often seems like it wants them dead. So Luther Hughes is really dealing with all of that in this poem, and sort of trying to address it and understand that it might like there are moments where you don't feel American, but there are times when you can't really think about how much you hate this country because all you want to focus on is the people and how much you love them, and the time that you get to spend with them, because you don't, it's not so much the hate that you feel out there, you also want to feel that love. Like they say, what did I expect him, black like me, American like me, in love like me, to say after dusting the day along to get inside this four-walled pasture amid the morning of dirty laundry? And so kind of getting at like how this home is a safe haven from the horrors in the world, although sometimes even your home isn't really a safe haven because the police can just barge in. But the poem isn't really addressing that. Just noting that like sometimes you can want to feel so angry at the world, but you really can only like be with your loved ones and enjoy the time that you get to spend with them before later on, presumably, you go and fight the injustices of the world. Kind of dealing with a lot of different emotions in this poem. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Mercy by Luther Hughes, a solid poem from a solid author. I definitely recommend that you go check it out. I will put a link to it in the description. Let me know what your thoughts are on this poem or on my review if you have a different take on it. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that other people can find out about this poem or this author if they don't already know, or even Poetry Thursday if they weren't aware of that before. But until then, I wish you the best of luck in your weird and merciful travels. Farewell.